Hi crocheters, Crafty Crystal here. Today we're going to be making this bag. It starts out with a round bottom. Used half double crochets all the way through. It's got nine rows. And then on the end we're going to do a single crochet row. And from that we're going to do a pattern I call flags and banners. Here's what it looks like close up. It's worked in a back and forth pattern, so you'll be working on the inside and the outside. This one is done with Bernat Hobby Crafter cotton yarn and an F hook. It measures about, flat like this, it measures about 14 inches across. It's about 12 inches deep. The handles lengthwise are about 16 inches deep. And if you use a larger hook, you're going to get a larger size. But I think you're going to like this. It looks fancy. It's easy to do. I give you all the little tips. And you're going to have something you can be proud of when you're done. Okay, let's get started. This is the new market bag I'm making. Shopping bag. I'm starting out with a simple flat bottom. It's made the way most of your flat circles are made. I started out with 12 double crochets. The next row is 2 double crochets in each stitch for 24. The next one is do a double crochet and then 2 double crochets in the next one, so you have 3 in every set, and you have 12 sets, so that's 36. Fourth row is 4 in every set, so you have double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, 2 double crochets, 4 in the fourth row. 5, you have 1, 2, 3 and double, or 5 stitches in each set for the fifth row. 6 stitches in each set for the seventh, and so on. Here's the seventh, eighth row, 7th row, 8th row, 9th row. In the 9th row you have 7 stitches in a row, 7 double crochets in a row, and then 2 on the 8th one, making it 9 stitches. So if you try to figure out where am I, count your rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know that there's 5 stitches in each section. There's 12 sections. Now when you first start out, when you get to the third row, that's where you first deviate, having single and double stitches. I mean single doubles and 2 doubles, making a little V. When you come around the next time to this V here, that is the top that you're going to put your next V in. So every time you go to put your V, you look below it, and if you're doing it in the top of a V, you haven't lost count. Same here. Here in the top of this V, you have this V. In the top of this V, we have this V, and so on all the way out. And you'll have 12 of these radials going out from the center. Okay? So you shouldn't have to be confused. And to figure out how many stitches you're supposed to have around the outside, depending on what size you want, you might want a small one, a little small one that you could make for a child. You would stop here. Or a little bit bigger one. This one here is approximately, let's see, hold on a second, approximately 10 inches in diameter. And I'm going to go straight up from the sides of this one. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. glare off of here. Before I start up my sides, I like to put a single crochet on the edge so I have the front loop showing. In order to do that, I prefer not to use just one loop because I want my bottoms really strong. I want them to be able to hold a lot. Now, if you look over in back of your loops, let's see where. In the back of your loops, you have two loops. Here's the top of your loop, and the one right next to the back loop, we have this other loop here. I like to go through those two loops. I have a two-loop connection, and it's nice and strong. Now, like I said, I have always been inclined to put a row of single crochet around. But this time I decided to try adding, come into focus, come into focus. Woohoo, where are you? There we go. This time I decided to add a barred slip stitch. Here's the single crochet, and here's the barred slip stitch. It seems to, it makes the corner better. It corners better. I don't know if I can show you this right. See how you have a stronger, corner in here on the inside and a stronger ridge on the outside. And this one kind of flattens out. See that? But I do like the look of that better. I really do. There's a nice look to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of these single crochets out before I go on, and I'm going to replace them all with these barred slip stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This is something I came up with a while back, and I liked it so much I've been using it in a lot of different things. You can use it to edge pockets, do the final edge on caps, all kinds of stuff. Okay, now I'll show you real close. You come in, instead of going in this way to get your loop, first you want to drag the yarn over the top. You drag, and then you stick through your loops. In this case, I'm using the two back loops. And then you pull your stitch out. Like that. You get your barred loop. A regular slip stitch would look like this. Oh, too many loops. There we go. There's a regular slip stitch. You would have a little double line there, but you wouldn't have this nice pretty edge. And this doesn't stand up the same way. It has a tendency to slant towards the back and just stay there. So you would certainly have a stitch to build on if you just wanted to do it that way. But I prefer the barred. It's not quite as tall as a single crochet. But sure looks nice. Now you notice I took my thumbnail and just kind of held on to the little bar here. It makes it a little bit easier to put away. Especially with this is cotton handcrafter thread. And it's a 4-ply worsted, 4-weight. But I tend to want to split it. And this helps me not split it. I don't have that much trouble with the, put that in there. Okay. I don't have that much trouble with the regular worsted weight, but I do seem to have trouble with this Handcrafter. There we go. Just drag, put it through your stitch, bring your hook through and through. Drag, put it through your stitch, get in there, and pull the hook through and through. Because your regular slip stitch is put it through and drag a hook through and through. It's just the same, but we're dragging this little bar across it. Bring the bar up, go through your stitch, bring your hook loop through and through. There you have it. I really like the look of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go tear out the rest of my single crochets. I'm going to replace it with this barred stitch, and I'll be back with the pattern stitch. Alright, I'm back around to my almost to the beginning here. I'm going to do these last couple of stitches, and when you come to the end and you're not sure where you should go up at, I want you to remember your V stitches. Remember your V's? These here? The top of this one will be your last stitch. Whoops. The top of your last V will be your last stitch. If you were to go around and count all the way around, you come back and you say, aha, okay. Now I want you to look at this real carefully. And you can see how this stitch here is the top of this stitch. This stitch is your up chain, so it doesn't have a top. So what you have to do, you have to go into the top of this stitch. Go in the top of your last stitch and do a regular slip stitch. Okay? Now you can double check if you like. Here's your last stitch, right on top of your V. And here's your first stitch, which is your chain up, your slip stitch up. Here's your second stitch, and here's the top of it. So you know that you're right. All the way around, you have the right number. Okay, now we're going to start on the pattern. So we're going to go 1, 2, it's going to equal a half double. Then we're going to wrap, and we're going to, we're going to chain 1. Let's start that part over again. The chain 2 is for the half double, and then one more chain for a space. So 1, remember when we get back here, 1, 2, 3. This is the one we're going to go into to connect, okay? Yarn over, go into the very next space on the bottom, pull up a loop, do another half double, okay? Chain 1, yarn over, go into the very next space and do a double. Chain 1. Counting this space as 1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over twice, go into the very next space and do a triple. Once, twice, 3 times. That's triple. Chain 1. Now the next one is usually called a double triple. I call it a quad because you do it 4 times. You did this one 3 times, you did this one 2 times. You're going to do this one 4 times. So we're going to wrap, wrap, wrap. That's 3 wraps. Okay. Go into the very next stitch, pull up a loop, and now you're going to go through 2 loops 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That's why I call them quads. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Not, down here we don't count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wrap first, go into that 9th stitch, or you can just say skip 4 to the 5th. Do a half double. Okay? Then you wrap, go into the next, chain 1. Wrap, go into the next stitch, do a half double. Chain 1. Wrap, go into the next stitch, and we're going to do a double. That's the 2 loops twice. Once, twice. Chain 1. Wrap 2 times. Go into the next stitch. We're going to do a triple. You go through 2 loops 3 times. Once, twice, and a 3rd time. What do we got here? Excuse me, yarn mess. Yarn tangle, don't want that. Been there, done that. Okay. Chain 1. Now we're going to do the quad again. 1, 2, 3 wraps. Go in, the very next stitch, pull up a loop. Now we go through 2 loops 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And again, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bottom. You have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the top. You skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. You go into your 5th stitch. So that's your 5th stitch. So wrap your yarn, go into that stitch, come up, and do your half double. Okay? And once more with feeling. We chain 1, wrap, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through all 3 for our half double, chain 1, wrap, go into our next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2 loops 2 times, chain 1, wrap twice, go into the next stitch, go through 2 stitches 3 times. That's our triple. Chain 1, wrap 3 times, go into the next loop, pull up a loop, go through 2 loops 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. No chaining after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our 5th loop. Wrap and go into it and do our next half double. Okay. And you can see this is standing up right now, just right. See there? Nice right angle. So you go on and continue that around, and I'll meet you back. I'll meet you back here at the beginning, okay? Okay, I'm at the last section. Made my little patterns all the way around. Each one of these patterns, not including the connection posts, is 8 long. So 8 with the connection makes 9. 9 goes into 108 12 times. So mine has 12 times around for 1 round. Now I made my half double connection, chain 1, wrap, do a double, do another half double, because it's the first half double of your pattern. Chain 1, wrap, do your double in the very next stitch. Chain 1, wrap, wrap. Go into the very next stitch for a triple. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, wrap, wrap, wrap. Go into your next stitch for a quad or double triple and come through 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I did this right, I have 4 stitches left. Wait a minute. Oh, I did that right. Okay. Half double, double, triple. Sometimes I just look at it wrong. My camera picks up light very, very well. And because it does, what my eyes see is a lot darker than what the camera sees. Camera shows you, I should say. Okay, now here's the connection stitch. First half double, double, triple, quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the last of my stitch. This would match here. So the 9th stitch should be the top of this connection. Now you have this stitch here that belongs to this stitch. And this stitch belongs to the space. So you want to come right in the top of this and slip stitch it. And chain 2, 3 actually, because 2 is your half double. This is where you'll chain in and come into next time. And this one is your chain space. And we want to turn. Okay, now, the very next step, the very next space here, we want to do a half double. Chain 1. In the very next space, which is the top of a chain, I'm going to go in there. Don't go through it, it doesn't look right. Well, you can if you want to, it's your project. Chain 1. Now we're going to do a triple. The very next one is actually the top of your triple. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. Now we're going to do a quad. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do it in the top of the chain space between your double and your triple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we skip the double, the chain space, that's 2. The half double and the chain space, that's 4. Then the top of our connector is the 5th. Whoops. Yarn over. There we go. Now this looks like this should be, this here, should be the top of that chain. Come here, you. What was it? Still the lighting giving me trouble or what? I think it's because I have more light coming in through the window. I might have to wait and do the rest of this in the morning. Oh, come on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go into the advanced settings. See if I can't fix this light. Okay, a whole piece of film had to be cut out, so I'm right over here at the end of this second row, practically. A couple of spaces to go. I can go back and tell you what I told you in the missing pieces. We came up to the first connection piece, and I was talking about how it looks like this should be the top of the post. But you got to remember, you're looking at the back of the part. Turn this around. Okay. Now the stitch that approaches, I'm left-handed, so I'm going this way. The stitch that approaches a bar belongs to it. The one that's on your hook, when you make that stitch, is going to be the top of that stitch. Okay? So, this is your quad. There is no chain space between the quad and the bar. So you go from your quad directly to your bar. This is the stitch right in front of your bar. So this is the one that belongs to it. Now you're looking at the back of it. And there it is. So when you're looking at what you're working on, the row you're working on, it's backwards. The one that is over here on this side of it, on the other side of your post, that's the one that belongs to it every time. If you get confused, just turn it around, look at that way, or look at the front piece you're doing here. See, you know that this one belongs to the post. Here's your chain space. This one belongs to the post. This one belongs to the post. See? Okay. Now, we're going to go through working on top of the other one 2 more times, and then we'll be at our beginning. I've already brought my loop through and chained 1. So this is the loop that belongs to the post. This is the chain 1. Watch this loop here, this blue loop. This is going to be the top of the half double. I loop around. I go into the top of my quad. Bring up a loop. See, I got my finger on the top loop here. Go through and bring a loop up through all 3. And there's that top loop. It's the one that belongs to the post. Now this will belong to the chain space. This will go on the double. The very next space, which happens to be the chain space below, bring our loop through and do our double. Chain 1. Wrap, wrap, go through the top of our triple, and we make our triple. Every time you go along, check what you're going into. If you're going into your triple, then you know you're right. You know you haven't missed any stitches or added any. Chain 1, wrap, wrap, wrap. And 4. Now I'm going to wrap first so I don't forget, because I'm good at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the stitch that belongs to the post. Whoops. Do my half double. Chain 1, wrap, do my half double in the top of the quad. Chain 1, wrap, do my double in the top of the chain between 4 and 3. Chain 1, wrap twice, go in the top of my triple, and make my triple. Chain 1, wrap 3 times, and go into the chain space stitch between the double and the triple and make my quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, and wrap, Chris. Okay. Oh, I don't need to wrap this time, do I? Now, we're back at the beginning again. Now, remember, on the beginning, you are working on the front side here. You can tell that the one in front of the post is the one that was on your hook. That's the one that made the post. The one in front of it is the chain 1 space. So you know that this here is the top of your half double chain. So you want to go through that, pick up 2 of the loops, and slip stitch. It's going to go back and forth like that all the way around. You have the hole between the quad and your post on one side. The next row, it'll be over your half doubles and doubles, and so on and so forth. I'm going to start you off on the next row, and every row is going to be the same, but I'm going to start and end the next couple of rows for you so you get it good. You chain 1, 2, 3, and turn. Okay. And you can tell by the little ridge we have here, we are now working on the outside. See? We have our little bottom ridge here. You know you're working on the outside. Wrap. Go into your quad. Make your first half double. Here's the half double. Here's the stitch that belongs to that half double. Here's the stitch that belongs to the chain 1 space. And this is the one we'll be going into when we come back. The second one up from the bottom. This is the top of our stabilizer. Chain 1, wrap. Whoop. Yeah, we're going to do the double now. Go into the chain space. Do your double. Chain 1. Wrap 2 times. Go in the top of your chain 3 space. So you can see you have your half double, your double, and your triple. You're going right in the top of your triple. And do a triple. So we got a triple triple. Chain 1. Wrap, wrap, wrap. And the last long stitch goes into the stitch that was the chain between your double and your triple. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And no chain on the end of the 4. 1. This time I've got a wrap. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see again, if you're looking at it backwards, because this is the backwards row below you, the hole has to be in front of the post, not behind it. I mean, behind the post, not in front of it. You know, ahead of you. You got it right yet. Kind of like you can't crochet and think at the same time. Okay. Once more. Chain 1. Half double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1. Double in the next stitch. Chain 1. Triple in the next stitch. Chain 1. Wrap, wrap, wrap. And quad in the chain space between the 2 and 3 below, the double and the triple below. Wrap for your half double. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I came down the right space. So I know I did my stitches right. Come back here. There we go. Okay. There's your pattern. Okay, I'll come back around and we'll end it again. And maybe I'll start one more time, and then you can go on up in your layers. It'll be all the same all the way up, as deep as you want your bag. Okay, I'm back around to the end of this row 3. And because you're coming to the end, you don't need to wrap because you're going into this connector space, the connector post. I remember I said this is the stitch that belongs to this post. This is the stitch that belongs to the post. This is the stitch that belongs to the space. So we want to go in the one right next to it. No, I want 2 on the top. Stitch, stitch. It's not cooperating with me. There we go. I want 2 threads. I want 2 threads on the top of my needle, hook, so that I have maximum holding power. And I just bring the slip stitch through. And chain 1, 2, that's for the half double, 1 for the chain 1, yarn over, come down the top of your, whoops, what did we forget to do? Turn. You know how I knew that? I was down here in these stitches. Down here in these stitches. I've got to be on the top of my quad. Okay, yarn over, down to the top of my quad, do my half double, chain 1, yarn over, go into that chain between the quad and the triple, do my double, chain 1, yarn over twice, go into the top of my triple with the triple, and I know I'm on count. And chain 1, wrap, 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 and in the chain between the second and third, I didn't catch 2 stitches there. 1, 2, 3 wraps. The light's so low right now. I know it looks bright to you, not bright to me. There we go. And I've got my V on the top. Always want to make sure you go through the whole V, not just part of it. And 3 and 4. We come back into the stitch that's leading away from our post. Wrap, go in, do our half double. And here we are on our rate of, we have 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, and this is the beginning of our 4th. See there? Okay. Now I think you got it from here. If you need to, you can go back. You make it as tall as you want, and then we'll work on the top, okay? All right, I'll see you back when you've got your bag as deep as you want it. I ran across a mistake I made, and I wanted to give you a hint as how you could take care of the problem. On the one I'm just coming off of, I've done my 4. I'm ready to go into my post. So I went in my post, and I had an extra stitch here. And I thought, uh-oh, I must have chained after my quad. So I went ahead and I got over here and I said, wait a minute, something's wrong. I have my half double, my double, my triple. I didn't do the quad. So I have a short pattern here. So you count backwards from the posts. You got the space, that's 1. Your post, that's 2. Your space, that's 3. Your post, that's 4. Space, 5. Post, 6, 7, and 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down right in here to do my post, my stabilizer. I'm going to come down here instead of here. And do my half double. Now, what it is with me in this thread, but I love to split it. And do my chain 1. I'm going to come down here in this space. It would normally be for my post. Do my half double. Chain 1. Now this was the space that I did after the triple. I was supposed to continue and do the quad. I'm going to come down in that and do my double. Chain 1. Wrap 2. And now I'm coming down on the top of my triple, just like I would if it was done correctly. And do my triple. Chain 1. Wrap 3 times. And come down again between my double and my triple below into that chain space. Now, as I said before, if you wanted to, you can go through the chain space instead of into the stitch. It'll give you a little different look, but it's not going to hurt anything. You wrap. Whoops, going correct one here. Do my half double. And I kind of made that little problem disappear. I've got quite a few rows done now. So you can see how the pattern's developing. See? Like that little flag holes coming off the sides here. And then every other one in between over here. Pretty. The variegated makes it look a little more complicated, but it also makes it look more interesting. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you. If you do, for instance, make accidentally make a chain 1 between your 4 and here, and you put it into your post, just jump across to your 4 to make your first half double. Don't go into the extra chain that you added. Go in the top of your 4, and it'll work out just fine. Okay.